Different grandma.
Different grandma. We're talking about my mom's side. So we were talking about my dad's side, just grandma here. So I'm gonna let Mikey kind of take lead on this one. We're gonna talk a little bit about my grandma Maria here and why we kind of based our whole stream slash podcast now, and that's literally what our whole brand is around. So let's get into
Oh, Hungarians.
the
Take it
Hungarian
away.
the Hungarian Revolution. So let me give you some backstory before Mikey kind of drops in. So the Hungarian Revolution happened in 1956, and it's also known as like the Hungarian Uprising. And essentially, it was a revolution against the government of the Hungarian People's Republic. And right around 1949 is when it kind of kicked off. A little bit of history between, during World War II, Hungary was, at one point occupied by the Nazis, and then it was occupied by the Russians. And so our grandmother, who passed away at, how old was she, Mikey?
86.
Yeah, she passed away around 86. I believe it was to, what, gum disease? I forget how she died.
What?
I don't think there's anything about gum disease.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What did grandma die of?
Multiple health
Old age?
complications.
Old
Yeah,
age.
dude.
Old age.
Literally, like, yeah.
Anyways, she had an amazing life.
For years. Yeah.
Like Mikey will really dive into the details here and like.
You mean
Gum
Michael?
disease. Get to Michael.
He'll really dive into some of the details here, but like she really just lived probably an amazing life, like and so but the start of it was a Hungarian Revolution, and I'll let Mikey kind of give a little bit of details on her life. So give me so Mikey,
I'll give you all I really know is my grandma was born April 6, 1932.
Okay. And give me
1956 was the Hungarian Revolution, which was their uprise, or like their defense lasted about 12 days, where she told me that they took out a bunch of tanks and they were using Molotovs and stuff. Like, they put up a good fight for 12 days, the people of Hungary, holding off Russia while others escaped. Obviously, I forgot how many were, but nearly a quarter of a million fled the country during this time in those 12 days, bro. And there's a lot of countries that surround, like, there's so many places that you know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to head towards where Russia's coming from. But
what did she do in like World War II?
So all I know is that she lived in Budapest. I never got to get like a really good detail on like my great grandma before her. I know her name was Kozo, and that she the stories I've heard is she like would pray over like my dad when he was asleep. Like, she'd be sitting at his feet, like kneeling, praying over him while he was sleeping. You know what I mean? Touching his feet and like praying over him.
Yeah.
So it's just like a super loving old lady. You know what I mean? I know she got. So this is the whole thing right here.
Okay.
She fled. She left, and her mom and the rest of her family there. You know what I mean? I know that she had some sisters that were murdered from some of the Russians. She told me a story of her hiding under a haystack in her farm outside of their house, and like while like they were raping and murdered them, and it's scary, dude. Like, hiding from like people getting like killing you, genocide. That's a pretty crazy thing.
Yeah.
Well, so
everybody was basically running up to City Hall. They were in a panic, in a frenzy, like boycotting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, we don't want we want this
protesting.
Is our country.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hold on, Mike.
And I'm just telling the moment when Grandma told me that she decided to leave. She was in the Red Cross. She was a nurse in Budapest, Hungary.
During when?
And
when was that?
During these times, during the Hungarian Revolution.
She was a nurse during the Hungarian Revolution, or she was a nurse during
in the Red Cross.
World War II?
In the Red Cross. I don't I don't know. I know she was a part of the Red Cross.
Anyways,
no
I want to
idea.
hear. I want to hear the. I want to hear the details. We can focus on that. And, like, fine. We
Yeah,
can
I
clarify
have
that
no
later.
clue.
I'm just curious. I want to
All I
hear this.
know is what she told me, and she said
Yeah.
she was outside of the courthouse. There was a lot, like 1,000 people out there, and kids, women, men, and the Russians pulled up with their machine guns and mowed everybody down. All the kids, everybody except my grandma and her other two dudes that were there with the Red Cross truck.
Hmm.
They didn't. They didn't kill them, and they were like, "Yo, you guys clean up the bodies. You guys got the truck. You know what I mean? That's your job."
Hmm.
And
That's
then
crazy.
grandma was like, I need to go. Like, I need to get out of this country. So she fled.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. And then
Holy hell.
she crawled through like miles of ice and got frostbite on her fingers and toes while they were shooting at everyone trying to just get into the next state. You know what I mean? Into the next country over.
That's crazy to think like how close your entire family came to being like completely wiped out.
Yeah, like a whole family line.
Like we came like probably inches from like being just erased and not even being
Non-existent.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she like
Yeah.
I remember for some
She's a beast.
how do you know anything, Mikey, about like how she came here
Yeah. So she said, well, she did. She went through Ellis Island in New York. I
or
believe.
okay.
And that's where they all got voted into, and then they
Who
basically register you into the country.
who do you mean all? Like who all came here? Was it just Maria or was like who all came?
Like an immigrant group, dude.
A
Like
250,000 Hungarians fleeing the country. Like,
well,
not all
yeah.
of them came to America, obviously, but
no, it's not what I'm getting.
I don't know.
That's not what I'm getting at. Like
I don't
was
know,
it,
bro.
Was it just grandma or was it like
Let me go back in time and figure it out.
like did you like when what I'm asking like like I know didn't we have like a great grandma too or did our great grandma come
Yeah.
here as well? Well, that's what
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
That's where my disconnect is. Like, I don't know. I know that she came here and then she went back. She got her mom, but later, like she fled, and her mom too old. She's like, I can't make that. I can't crawl.
Yeah.
Out of here. I don't know
Do
how.
you know how she met her husband? Like
I know
at that time when they linked up, because he was from Hungary too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. So supposedly they met in New York because she was in some newspaper, and I don't know where this newspaper is, but it was her and another woman who was in the Red Cross, and they were in the newspaper like survivors of the Hungarian Revolution, and they got job offers to UCLA. I don't even know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the nurses to work in pediatrics because they don't speak English.
Right.
So they're like, we can get
Yeah.
these nurses jobs. They can work with babies until they learn English. And
They both don't speak English.
That's exactly what our grandma did. She hunkered down, bro. She was dude, just one woman.
Yeah.
One woman, bro. She met grandpa, right? Well, no, that's not true. She had a marriage before having Monica and my dad.
Okay.
And the guy before no, I'm completely wrong. Yeah, my bad, dude. My bad. She did date someone after, I think.
Okay.
And I think he tried to hit on Urez's mom or something, and then Monica kicked him out. She's like, you can get out of here, trying to touch my daughter. Hurts my daughter.
Oh, you tried to hurt my daughter.
Yeah.
So can we just and before we end,
I'm skipping all over
story,
the place.
No, but I want to hear can you just speak about what her final title was in the medical field? Because I know that was a pretty substantial accomplishment as an immigrant.
So like I said, she started working in pediatrics. She learned 10 words of English every day from a Hungarian to English dictionary.
Okay.
She became fluent in English, and then she became the head of neurology at Eisenhower Medical Center in Southern California. So she started working on brains. You know what I mean?
That's insane. That's insane. I can't imagine, coming let's say we were all to just go back to Hungary. Like, I can't imagine learning Hungary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
she got to
imagine?
work
Can you
on
imagine?
Walt Disney, bro, which is pretty cool.
What?
Like, she was like tending to Walt Disney when he was in the hospital when he was very sick at the end of his life.
Can
You know
you
what I mean?
can you
Because they
imagine?
had the best doctors there
Right,
in
right,
Eisenhower
right. But can you imagine?
or UCLA. I apologize.
Right, but can you imagine, like, right now, if we were all three of us told, "Hey, sorry, you're going back to Hungary. Go learn Hungarian." And it would be an
There's so much
astronomical.
lost in translation, bro. That's why I'm so happy. I want to go. Like, I need to get my dad up, like talking about all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
cause
Yeah, I definitely want to sit down with Andy and just kind of chat
pick
about,
his
like,
brain on
I want,
everything.
like, before, like, something might bad, if his health gets any worse, like, I would love to just sit there and just talk with Andy.
Nick
And
knows right now he's very talkative, bro.
right, I
He's
understand.
sharp right now.
Right, I understand he's sharp, but I definitely want to sit down and do like a Forrest Gump style interview. Be like, hey, tell me everything you can fucking remember, and just
Yeah.
tell me all the stuff, because
Yeah.
once those stories are gone, they're just gone. You don't really get to have those conversations anymore, and you kind of, there's so much that of your history, like your family history, that just gets erased the second they're dead.
Lost in the cracks.
Yeah, like,
But it's important you keep talking to people that are old in your family, man. Don't take
Yeah.
advantage of that.
That was like the one thing when our dad died, that all his stories and all his jokes are just gone. That's why.
Nah, man, I got a lot of them right here. I got a lot of that in time.
I have some names of our family lineage in like one of these books. I think I took a picture and sent it to you, and it like just has like a little bit of our history, like what do we know? But everyone's obviously gone, man. This is our new history. Like you guys are already had kids, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is just really cool to know that like our grandma got on a boat. You know what I'm saying?
One woman decided the fate of
everybody,
entire
Yeah.
just generations.
A ton.
So if you got some free time and you've ever thought like, I mean, maybe just listening to this, or you've had your own like just thought of like just curiosity of where you came from, dig into it, like look into that stuff, like get to know like where you came from, because at one point in time, one person's decisions completely outlined what like generations of your family line looked like, whether it was going to exist or not. And that's kind of a crazy, and you also are in that same position right now.
Yeah, what's kind of frustrating,
crazy.
I think what a lot of people, including myself, get kind of lost in is the daily grind of, make money, go pay your bills, go out, go party, and then you kind of forget to sit down and just kind of talk with your family, whether it's your parents or whether it's your grandparents. It's just like, when I remember right before I joined the military, I sat down and I kind of interviewed my grandma, and I did like a Forrest Gump style interview, and I remember just putting a camera in front of her face, and I was like, hey, tell me everything you can remember from the start of your birth. And I gave her like a couple of topics to kind of talk about, like, where were you when segregation happened, where were you when Kennedy was assassinated, where were you when this happened. And it was one of those experiences that I highly recommend everybody kind of do, because it was so insightful to kind of hear about certain things. Like, I remember my grandfather telling me that light bulbs used to last like 100 years, and I was like, whoa.
That's crazy.
It blew my mind. He's like, yeah, we used to have like a family light bulb that was around our
we passed the light bulb down for generations.
We had a family light bulb that used to
they want to give us a light bulb.
It was like it lasted 100 years, and I was just like, "What do you mean a light bulbs used to last 100 years? I have a light bulb in my house right now that'll probably
hold on,
that'll go out here and like."
Do they know that they lasted 100 years? Like truly, based off time of the creation of the light bulb.
This was my great
grandfather's light bulb that. Well, like you think about
Rhino Steven.
I mean, what was like what really blew my mind, and it made me kind of think. I was like, oh, okay, maybe because the construction of light bulbs has really changed, right? Like, it probably used to look like like a lighthouse light bulb, right?
Hey, I got a light bulb.
Yeah, you got a light. Look behind you. You got a light bulb. No, just kidding.
Dude, these color changing lights they have now, everything. You know,
Well,
LED is king right now.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm not thinking in that perspective. What really,
Oh.
the way I was kind of thinking was, I was like, shit, man.
They built shit. Well, they built stuff to last. Like
True.
everything was made out of real metal,
exactly.
real hard, crude materials.
Exactly.
Everything was made with less. It was straight raw ingredients, and that's what our country was built off of.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Now there's just so many people in cities and stuff where it's hard to get produce and stuff in there, so they have to put in pesticides to grow a massive amount of crops.
yeah.
They have to.
Well, that's where my mind was kind of going on this. It was the fact that he told me light bulbs used to last like 100 years. It's like, what else have I been kind of taught that has been just kind of ingrained in some sort of like structural system that, you know, I'm just sitting here going, well, what else used to last super long? Like, what else am I like just being, you know, told to do as like a consumer? Anyways, not to get off on that super big tangent.
Me in bed.
Last about like no.
Last 100 years, baby.
I last 100 years in bed. All right. Well, not to kind of cut this podcast off short, we just kind of wanted to give like a little insight on, you know, where our thoughts were and why we're making the decisions we kind of wanted to do. Mainly, you know, it is what it is. You know, we can't really kind of choose how the direction our life is going. We can make little, you know, recommendations here and there, but we wanted to kind of show you guys like, hey, this is kind of like our thoughts and like the direction we want to take our brand. Yeah, if you guys kind of liked what you guys saw today, we're gonna definitely do more dedicated weekly podcasts where we kind of pick a topic or two topics and really dive deep. This was kind of like a quick, you know, like little
intro.
Yeah, little sprinkles of what like maybe we could talk about and kind of go from there. So
Help me. Help.
What are you fucking laughing at? You fucking goober.
If you're listening on YouTube, definitely drop a subscribe. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, give us a good review. We would really appreciate, you know, a good review on Apple or a good review on Spotify. Drop a follow, drop a like.
Yeah.
We are live.
Don't forget our
no
Facebook
more.
fan, dude.
Yeah, the #1 American Hungarian podcast.
So as far as our socials go, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or X as the @thehungarians, or you can go to our website, thehungarians.com.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for, I don't know how long we were going for. What,
An hour and 10 minutes?
yeah.
Good.
So thank you guys for hanging out. This was really fun. Let us know how we did. Let us know in the comments. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for hanging out. Peace. Bye.
Love you guys. See you again.